I ain't gonna lie, man, like, this is just real. It's scary, but it's real. When she walked off, something was telling me, like, she gonna die, you know what I'm saying?
The Devil's Daughter. He was back there. Yeah.
I call myself Gangsta Boo, the Devil's Daughter.
Gangsta Boo's final message is finally coming to light. And what it hints at about 3-6 Mafia's dark secrets could flip everything you thought you knew about the group. For years, people brushed off the devilish symbols and eerie lyrics as just part of the brand. But now folks are asking, was it all just for show? Or was Boo silenced before she could spill too much? Long before the RIP started flooding in, there was a shift. Something changed in Boo's vibe, and the real ones noticed. It wasn't loud or dramatic. It was subtle. Her captions got deeper, her smile started fading, and during her last public moments, there was this distant look in her eyes that fans couldn't ignore. But the people closest to her, they saw more than just sadness. They saw a warning. Juicy J, who had known Boo forever, even admitted in an emotional moment, "I ain't gonna lie, man. This is just real. It's scary, but it's real. When she walked off, something told me, she gonna die." That wasn't just some random thought. There was a dark cloud following her, a heavy energy nobody could shake. And what made it worse? Nobody could explain where that darkness came from until her longtime friend Delmar Lawrence gave a little insight. He opened up in an interview, saying Boo never fully bounced back after losing her father. She fell into a deep depression, and it just stayed with her. But here's the twist. Despite all the pain, she wasn't slowing down. Boo had plans for 2023. She was working on new tracks, booking shows, chasing fresh goals like she had something left to prove. Or maybe something she had to finish. In her last posts, she dropped clips from a Memphis concert where she hit the stage with her brother. She was smiling, laughing, but fans swear that smile didn't feel real. Like she was putting on a face, one final time, almost like she was saying goodbye without actually saying it. And when one of those posts randomly disappeared just hours after it went up, that's when the questions really started flying. What was she trying to say? Was it a message about the industry, about the people around her, or something even deeper? That line she posted hit fans hard, like a warning dressed up in poetry. And it ain't just her online presence that had folks on edge. People who saw her perform the night before she passed said something felt off. Her body was moving, but her soul? It was like she wasn't even there. Then came the real chills. Fans started going back through her old music with new ears, and that's when things got creepy. Boo didn't just rap about demons and darkness. She lived it. Her lyrics sound like confessions now, like she was trying to tell us about something real lurking behind the industry curtain, but couldn't say it straight out. Take her track, Meet the Devil. She didn't hold back on that one. The video was straight up haunting. Red lights, shadowy figures, the whole scene dripping in horror vibes. It wasn't just art. It felt like a message. A cry for help? A warning? Nobody knows for sure, but one thing's clear. Gangsta Boo saw something, and now that she's gone, we're finally starting to hear what she was really trying to say. It all screamed bloody murder. Some folks brushed it off like it was just that old horrorcore shock value, but others? They're saying this wasn't just theatrics, it was a metaphor. What if Gangsta Boo was calling out something real, something she couldn't say out loud, so she used her music to drop cryptic messages? This ain't even out of character for her. Boo used to literally call herself the Devil's Daughter. She wasn't shy about it either. In her Uproxx interview, she didn't just claim a spooky image. She made it sound personal. That wasn't about branding or bars, that was identity. And to some fans, that's when things started getting spooky for real. See, calling yourself that, it ain't just about being part of a rap crew. That's saying you're tied to something deeper, something darker. A legacy rooted in temptation, mystery, and energies way bigger than music. Let's be real. Memphis rap been flirting with the dark side since forever. From old blues legends to gritty street rappers, there's been talk of deals with the devil, crossroads stories, and shadowy forces moving through the game. Some say it's myth, but for artists like Boo, it felt too real. She didn't just rap about pain, power, and spirits to sound hard. There was always something else under the surface. She was dropping double meanings left and right. Whether she was spitting about snatching souls or walking through fire, fans say she was really talking about her own demons, her trauma, her grief, that unshakable feeling that something was after her. So what was she battling? Was it just industry pressure and personal loss? Or was it something she tapped into years ago and couldn't escape from? Now here's the real twist. Gangsta Boo never said she was out here practicing Satanism, but she did say she was into the dark side. She owned that curiosity. When Talib Kweli interviewed her, she kept it all the way real, no filters. She straight up said she found those themes interesting, and that's got folks thinking. Maybe she didn't just study that energy. Maybe she saw something. Maybe she felt something. Something that convinced her this stuff wasn't just fantasy, it was real. And that's when the plot thickens. When Boo started pulling back, stepping away from that 3-6 Mafia image, some say the countdown started. Some insiders claim that's the moment the powers behind the curtain took notice, like she crossed some invisible line, or maybe she knew too much. So let's talk about it. Let's break down that name, 3-6 Mafia. It ain't exactly innocent, is it? From the start, people were side-eyeing that title. 3-6, as in Aru, Aru, Aru. That's literally the number of the beast, not some random label, that's a statement. Now, DJ Paul and Juicy J tried to soften the blow over the years, saying it was just about the 6 original members. But come on, they leaned into that image hard. Dark beats, creepy visuals, even their early album covers were wild. They knew exactly what kind of attention they were drawing. And Gangsta Boo? She was front and center for all of it, until she started pulling away. That's when people say things really started getting strange. Mystic styles. World domination. When the smoke clears, 6661. That ain't just some clever wordplay. That's cold, calculated messaging. You mix in those eerie, hypnotic beats, the bone-chilling chants, and lyrics about demons, possession, and the afterlife. And you got something that sounds more like a seance than a rap album. And this wasn't no one-time experiment either. That dark energy? It was the foundation of 3-6 Mafia's whole identity. They didn't just dabble in horrorcore. They built that lane from the ground up. Their sound made it almost impossible to tell where nightmares ended and reality began. We're talking bars about devil worship, blood rituals, and voices whispering from the shadows, and none of it was background noise. That was front and center. Songs like Tear to Club Up might have felt like party anthems, but underneath all the wild chaos, fans swear there was a much darker vibe creeping through. It was like they were channeling something, on purpose. Even Juicy J had to come out and address the noise in interviews saying, "We do not worship no devil, man. People ask me that shot every day. There's no way you could have our success worshiping the devil." But let's keep it real. Why deny it so hard if it was all just for show? If it was all jokes and gimmicks, why did they always look so tense when asked? And fans ain't forgot those throwback interviews where they laughed about rituals. DJ Paul once said, half joking, "We just made that devil music that the church hated." But even that sounded a little too close to the truth for some people. Here's where it gets weird. Industry folks, people who were around during those early 3-6 sessions, have hinted that the energy behind the scenes wasn't always just spooky marketing. Some former producers and collaborators have admitted they felt something off, something they couldn't shake. And if it was all a gimmick, then why do some of them still say they feel haunted by what they saw? Even Crunchy Black once said, "I never sold my soul." But when asked about the rest of the crew, he went quiet, didn't name names, didn't deny anything. That silence said everything. Now here's where things get real unsettling. Gangsta Boo wasn't the first artist to brush up against something dark in this industry, and she definitely won't be the last. Every time an artist dies suddenly, especially when they were just starting to rise again, that same theory pops back up. Was it a coincidence or was it a sacrifice? Boo's death hit different. She wasn't washed up and she wasn't fading. She was coming back strong. She had shows lined up, new music, big plans for 2023. This was supposed to be her second wave. So when the news dropped, fans weren't just sad, they were suspicious. They started connecting dots, and that's when things spiraled into a full-blown rabbit hole. People started pulling up other artists who shared the same eerie pattern, acting strange, saying cryptic things, and then suddenly, gone. Look at Prodigy from Mobb Deep. He was one of the first to straight up call out the Illuminati. He warned folks about the hidden hand running hip-hop from the shadows. And then, in 2017, he died suddenly while in the hospital. No warning, no signs. To this day, some fans are convinced he was silenced. Then there's DMX. That man battled demons, and not just personal ones. He talked openly about spiritual warfare, and he warned people about the industry's darker side. He said, "They don't want you to win." He wasn't being poetic, he meant it literally, and just like that, he was gone too. So now people are looking at Gangsta Boo's case with new eyes. Was she another artist who saw too much? Or worse, said too much before her time ran out? And now the question that's got everybody side-eyeing the industry, was Gangsta Boo trying to speak out before it was too late? In her final days, she wasn't just making moves, she was making statements. Behind the glammed-up selfies and promo clips, people say her captions started sounding more like coded messages, like she was warning us without saying it out loud. One fan even pointed out a now-deleted story where Boo posted, "Don't let the light fool you, darkness moves in silence." Hours later, it vanished. No explanation. And when folks tried to ask questions, silence. That post alone got people spiraling into theories. Was she calling out someone or something? And here's where it gets bone-chilling. People close to Boo say she started cutting ties right before she passed, quietly distancing herself from certain names, certain scenes. She wasn't blasting it online, but behind the scenes, she was moving different. Some say she even planned to expose a few people in the game. Allegedly, she had been writing down everything, names, dates, secrets. But if that notebook exists, it's never been found. What makes it worse? There's whispers that Boo knew she was in danger. One of her close friends allegedly told a blog that Boo once said, "If something happens to me, just know it wasn't random." And now, that quote's got the internet in a chokehold. Look at the pattern. Artists rising up again, talking spiritual, cutting ties, and then gone. Just like Left Eye, just like Michael, just like Prince. All of them started pulling back the curtain, and all of them are now gone way too soon. And now Boo's name is added to that list, the ones who maybe knew too much. There's even theories now that tie her death to a larger wave of spiritual shifts happening in the industry. Fans are linking Boo's last posts to lunar events, numerology patterns, and even past occult symbolism from 3-6 Mafia's old music. Sounds wild, maybe, but when you start connecting the dots, something just doesn't sit right. Let's be real. The industry has always had its shadows. Secret meetings, quiet feuds, deals that never hit the news. But when an artist like Gangsta Boo, someone who lived through the fame, the struggle, the pressure, and then tried to come back on her own terms, ends up gone right before her glow-up, that ain't just sad, that's suspicious. And what about those unreleased tracks she hinted at? The ones she said would be her realest yet? Gone. Locked away. No label drops, no leaks, just silence. And silence is loud when someone was just about to speak. The streets aren't buying the surface-level stories anymore. Boo's legacy is being reread, rewatched, and re-listened with a whole new mindset. People are decoding her lyrics, replaying her old interviews, and questioning everything we thought we knew. Because now it's not just about the music, it's about the message, the secrets, the symbols, the silence. And if Boo was trying to tell us something, we better start listening before another voice gets cut off. Now here's the part nobody can shake. What really happened to Gangsta Boo? The official story says she passed from an accidental overdose. That's what the headlines pushed. Quick, clean, and cold. But people close to her, they're not buying it. And neither are her fans. First off, Boo was never the reckless type. Yeah, she had her battles like anybody else. But right before her death, she was focused, clean, level-headed, booking stages, dropping teasers, making boss moves. So how does someone with that kind of momentum just slip and disappear? It don't add up. And here's what's even more off. Rumors started flying that someone was with her that night. Someone whose name hasn't been dropped publicly. Someone that fans say was never questioned. A mystery figure who vanished the moment Boo's story made the news. No interviews, no statements, just gone. And that silence, it's got folks thinking there's way more to this than what we've been told. Some insiders claim Boo had a bad mix. Others whisper it was planted. And now people are asking, was it really an accident? Or did someone make sure she wouldn't make it to 2023? Let's talk timing. Boo died just days after posting a clip saying, "I've been holding my tongue for too long. Time to speak my truth." That post? Deleted. Gone without a trace. Not archived, not re-uploaded, like it was never there. Then there's the phone. Word is, her phone was wiped clean before it was handed over. No texts, no voicemails, no drafts. For someone who documented everything and was active every single day, that kind of digital silence feels manufactured. And it ain't just Boo. There's a pattern building, and it's loud. From artists like Pimp C to even Pop Smoke, Fans keep pointing out that when these rappers start pulling away from labels, start owning their voice, something always happens. It's like there's a system set up to shut them down before they can shake the table. And Boo? She was about to flip the whole table over. She was reportedly working on a memoir. Yeah, a whole book, with her own voice, no filter, and no PR team telling her what to say. That project? Quietly shelved. No trace. Not even a leaked title. Just more silence. People in Memphis have started calling it the Boo Blueprint, a theory that the higher you climb without the industry's blessing, the more eyes watch your every move. And once you step out of line, it's checkmate. And now fans are pulling receipts, digging through old footage, analyzing every lyric. One fan even posted a breakdown of her final freestyle, claiming Boo was dropping names in metaphors. The post blew up, then mysteriously got taken down the same day. Coincidence or control? Either way, Gangsta Boo's story isn't over. If anything, it's just getting louder. Because now, people aren't just mourning her. They're investigating. They're connecting her journey to a bigger truth. That maybe, just maybe, this game ain't just about music. It's about power, control, secrets. And Boo, she might have been the one artist bold enough to break the silence, until someone made sure she never finished the sentence. They want your soul. That line right there, it ain't just lyrics, it's a warning. And we cannot forget the one artist bold enough to scream it from the mountaintops. He said someone in the industry sacrificed his own mom, and what did folks do? Call him crazy, laughed him off, until that pattern started making too much sense. And Gangsta Boo, she fits that same pattern a little too well. It all went down on New Year's Eve, 2022. Boo was in Memphis, vibing with her brother Marcus Curtis, and checking out a show by local legends 8Ball and MJG. She wasn't just watching from the crowd, she was set to perform, showing love to her roots, her city, her culture. It was a night that was supposed to be full of love and energy. Right before everything changed, she had one last heart-to-heart with her longtime partner, Emmett Flores. They shared some sweet throwbacks, real nostalgic stuff, like Boo was reflecting heavy. She even sent him a pic from New Year's 2017. He told her, "I love you." She replied with that energy. They planned to link up a few days later, but fate had a whole different plan that night. Gangsta Boo and Marcus ended up partying. What they thought was a fun night turned deadly. They reportedly took something white, but it was laced with fentanyl. Marcus OD'd, but made it through after being rushed to the hospital. Boo? She didn't survive. She was found unresponsive on the morning of January 1st, 2023. Just like that, she was gone. The shockwaves hit hard. Daz Dillinger, other Memphis legends, fans across the world, they all said the same thing. Boo was just fine hours earlier. She was glowing, cracking jokes, full of life. Then bam, silence. And the streets started whispering. Was it really an accident or something darker? Crunchy Black didn't hold back. On Vlad TV, he made it very clear. He thought someone did her dirty on purpose. And who did he name? Boo's own brother, Marcus. He claimed Marcus was holding resentment over a robbery charge from 2009, where he took the fall and ended up doing time. Word is, Boo distanced herself afterward and didn't help like he expected. Crunchy said Marcus was salty, bitter, and that tension may have played a role in how that night unfolded. Before all this went down, Boo had big plans. She had a project called The Blueprint in the works, linking with rising female rappers and new producers from Memphis. Her latest single, Sucker Free, had fans buzzing. She was about to go crazy in 2023, but now, her legacy's frozen, gone too soon, and the way she left this world, way too quiet. It took months, until June, for the official cause of death to be released, and when it came, it just said accidental overdose. No details, just a clean-cut summary. But those months of silence, that was the red flag. No interviews, no police updates, just tribute posts and people telling us to respect the privacy. Meanwhile, fans were begging for answers. And the media? They completely skipped over the satanic links, the old 3-6 imagery, the coded lyrics, all the weird energy that was always around Boo's music and persona. Scrubbed clean. Like somebody didn't want the real story getting out, but the real ones know. The energy in her songs, the shift in her spirit, the tension with her crew, the sudden comeback, and then the silence. It all lines up way too perfectly with the other legends we've lost under strange circumstances. Because Boo didn't just spit bars, she dropped truth bombs. Her music was coded, spiritual, aggressive, and honest. Tracks like Hard Not to Kill weren't just about survival. They were blueprints to what she was fighting. And let's not forget, female artists who go deep like Boo did, they get ignored, misunderstood, or silenced, especially when they come from crews soaked in controversy and legacy pain. 3-6. Mafia wasn't all show. The chaos, the symbols, the darkness, it was real. Boo lived it, and when she tried to rise again without the machine behind her, she vanished. A silence too smooth, too fast, too scripted. Her final chapter don't feel like a natural ending. It feels like something or someone cut the mic off. Too many deleted messages, too many no comments, too many pieces that don't fit. So now the only thing left to ask is, was Boo trying to expose something before they shut her down for good? Let us know what you think in the comments. Subscribe for more deep dives like this, and until the next one, stay woke, stay watching, and don't ignore the silence.